Tuesday, we got an update for Black Ops 4, update 1.11, presumably the first of two major title updates we'll end up having throughout January. The other more than likely bringing along League play as well as the camos for mastery within Blackout and Zombies, but this update that we got on Tuesday added in a lot of cool things in the way of new Zombies content like gauntlets. We saw a little bit in terms of Blackout, in which we had a brand new user interface for looting dead stashes or death bags, and I think truthfully that is an absolutely massive change for Blackout on console in particular. Then in the ways of multiplayer, we had a few things fixed out, some different changes to specialists, some game modes, and we got a cool couple of new game modes as well, including things like Chaos Control back that was only in the game for about 24 hours beforehand and then it got removed. We had Team Tactical, which was only there for a few hours, and actually the map pack mosh pit still ends up replacing that, and we're hopefully going to be seeing that removed again and Team Tac reinstated, because the map pack mosh pit was only reintroduced to allow for a smooth transition of the new MP maps into the full rotation. But while we got all this stuff on Tuesday, we actually got a little mini update today in which we got a little bit further. Some things for PC, some things that gave us a little bit more content, and also a little heads up on what we may end up seeing here in the very next upcoming weeks. So let's jump into it. First thing to start out with is something that actually came as of yesterday, but is now being kind of grouped in with how Treyarch addresses these updates, and it's thrown in the mix with today's little update notes. That being the down but not out limited time mode within Black Ops 4, and more specifically Blackout. Now this is honestly an insanely wild and tremendously fun mode. It is a massive curveball from what you would regularly imagine quads to be like within Black Ops 4. When you take a look at Blackout and quads in particular, it's kind of a slow going game. Maybe if you have a really good game, you might as a team drop 20 kills, maybe a little further depending on how aggressive you play and how much of your team frags out, but it is something that you're going to have a lot of intervals of time where there's not going to be a lot of engagements. Whether that be early game, mid game, or maybe late game and you end up finding only a couple of people, that's something that it could all vary. But with down but not out, this is pretty much hectic and crazy gameplay the entire time. The way this works is tremendously different because you actually get to respawn in down but not out. Well, assuming you have one player of your squad still up each time the circle comes in. So the way that it works out is that there are 5 zones within Blackout in this particular mode, so 5 potential redeploys. If you end up dying right off the bat, then you have the chance to redeploy whenever the zone comes in again, and so the redeploys are right before each zone is set and starts to shrink. So therefore, once you end up doing it, you can redeploy up until the final circle, but as soon as that starts to move, then if you die, you're done. That's game over for you. Your team can still win out, but you won't be able to redeploy. But as long as you have one player in your squad still up, when that zone starts moving, you'll end up being able to drop in hot. And once you do, you'll also end up only having a Strife pistol, a few mags of 9mm ammo, and 5 bandages, and that's it. So naturally, you can see where this starts to get tough late game. If you don't have loot, obviously you're not going to do that great compared to your enemies that may have been alive the entire time. Now, upon the final circle, though, when there are no more redeploys, that's when it gets crazy. The final zones are admittedly still pretty large, but when it's a constant push until the very end when the entire map is in the collapse, well, it gets really crazy, especially considering that a lot of the times you'll have 50 or 60 players left in that one circle. So it gets real hectic, it goes downhill real fast if you don't have your heads up, but it is something that is a ton of fun. Some key information though that I think is really important to know is that when the zone comes in, it's like fast collapse. You can't outrun it at the furthest points. So if you're at that furthest point, hopefully you have a bunch of bandages because you will need to use them to end up avoiding tanking too much whenever you end up getting out of it. And then also, dead bags or death stashes normally disappear if you end up dying, so if you're looking to get your loot back, you might not have the best luck while doing so. Now, while streaming with JC and Lex yesterday, a subtle little plug if you want to follow me over on Twitch for Blackout streams, that link's in the description below, we kind of pinpointed that if you're in the dead bag of your teammate, it might actually allow it to survive disappearing. Or it might have just been bugged, but regardless, I saved JC's loot for him by doing that, and we think that might have been a little workaround. But nonetheless, it's a ton of fun. Jump on, play this. Now it's available on PlayStation 4 until the 30th, and then as of next Wednesday, it'll be available for Xbox One and PC, and this is the first of 2 limited time modes that we are told is coming. This one goes until the 30th on PlayStation 4, so I'm assuming that we'll wrap up January with the second one with a title update right around that point as well. The next big thing though within Black Ops 4 news is that Blackout does have that free trial starting today, so if you don't have Black Ops 4 and you're looking to try out the Battle Royale portion, you can do so for absolutely free. It's going to go until next Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so at that point you have 1 week to grind out pretty much everything that Blackout has to offer. Ranks, characters, all that good stuff. It's all inclusive with this free trial, and all you have to do is go over to your console of choice and check out where it is listed, and then just download the free trial. Now, the free trial was absolutely massive from what I saw. I don't know if that's reflective of the entire game or if that's literally just the demo, but it was around 42 gigabytes to download, so that's something that's definitely hefty. But on PlayStation 4, you can end up going to the store, and it should be right there in the what's hot category, right in that first choice, or you can end up searching up Black Ops 4 if it's not there, and then go down to where demos is listed, and you'll be able to see that and then download and install it from there. Now, to my knowledge, Xbox One and PC should be relatively the same scenario, with PC being more so just on the battle.net client, something that'll say that you can end up getting that for free. I personally didn't see it, but I think it's because I already had Black Ops 4 installed whenever I ended up opening up battle.net, so it might be something that prompts you if you don't have it. But regardless, you can check that out, and again, it lasts for an entire week. You can play Blackout in its entirety for free. So check that out, jump on. I'm gonna be streaming a lot of it. Maybe I'll run into some of you guys that may not regularly be on the game all that much. But outside of that, one thing finally that I want to talk about with a Blackout that kind of points towards future content updates, and maybe this comes as of the next Theory title update. Again, kind of just throwing it out there. I think we're gonna be getting a title update on the 29th. We're told we have another big update in January that will house League Play and again camos, so might come with this one, but that echelon increase for Blackout is something that has been talked about for quite some time, but actually we got a slight little update here on it. My good friend Ryan, or Prestigious Key, actually asked David Vonderhaar if there was any information that could be shared about this, to which David Vonderhaar replied back to this saying, "I cannot comment on this as we have not announced anything," but underneath it with a subtext of "yes, kinda." Now, that's very open-ended, and I don't know what kinda means in the sense of it's kind of a yes or no question for are there new ranks coming, are there not? Maybe this ends up meaning something like a prestige system where you have the same ranks and you can just do it all again for a different reward, or it's like adding seasonal add-ons to those rankings where you get a certain number every event or something like that. We don't exactly know, but we at least have that on the horizon to look forward to, and maybe as early, again, as of this update coming later in the month for League Play and the Mastery camos. Now, in terms of other fixes that came out of this update that actually was today, the playlist update that, again, will have automatically downloaded if you haven't jumped on by now, but if you were on earlier than 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you might have noticed that changeover again. But for this, the biggest thing that was fixed out was a little bit of the error with the gunship. Now, for those guys that may not go for those top tier streaks, the gunship had an issue where whenever you rotated the ammunition that you were firing, it would completely send your viewpoint awry. It would shoot you off to the right, wherever it may be, but it was never in the same spot like you would just normally zoom in or zoom out, depending on what ammunition type you had. Now, this was apparently fixed out with today's update, which is a great thing because a streak of that nature is definitely something that should work because it does take quite a bit to earn. So for it to completely be broken when you get it, that's a bit of a bummer. Outside of that, there was only some really small stuff that got resolved. There was a UI error in the black market that got fixed. There were stability fixes with some of the specialists in which there was a crash that would happen when 0 players would hack Torque's Barricade, and also it would fix a crash whenever someone was using Prophet's Tempest. And they also reiterated the fact that the clear all new items marker was now introduced to Xbox One and PS4. That's apparently going to be coming on PC still in the relative near future, but that was something added in they wanted to reiterate as well. Outside of that, we saw a little bit of PC changes in particular to round this out, in which, again, it's nothing truly spectacular. They had, of course, everything that was in with the 1.11 patch notes that we covered on Tuesday, but also had a few things added in on that, where Blackout gameplay now has the option to allow using the repair armor as a toggle instead of a hold. There was an issue resolved with the primary and secondary weapon slots in Blackout as well. And then overall in the gameplay category, they added a change class keybind shortcuts for slots 7 to 12, and also added a steady aim keybind as well as center view keybind. So those sorts of things, again, very small and minimal, and maybe not exactly what the PC community may have hoped for, but still some changes no less that we ended up getting on top of what was already included with 1.11 this past Tuesday. So that said, that is where we're gonna wrap it up here at this one. Again, that was a little mini update we got today that, again, the biggest big focus, I think, was here primarily for the free-to-play release of Blackout, and so that's something that, of course, along with that, we'll get a little bit more support and a playlist update that can house a little more things as well. But that said, kind of a smaller thing, of course, but love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments on all of it. What do you guys think of this? Are you excited for free-to-play of Blackout? How you liking the brand new game mode on PlayStation 4 if you are there? And if you're on Xbox One and PC, are you guys looking forward to getting your hands on Down But Not Out? Truthfully, I think it's a ton of fun. And then also, what do you think about the idea of other echelons coming, and how do you think they'll be introduced, and what are your thoughts on the fixes as well? That said, let me know your thoughts on any and all of that, and if you want to contribute something else to the conversation, feel free to as well. But that said, that's going to wrap it up, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, multiplayer, Blackout, zombies. We got you covered, the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, best class setups, all that good stuff. We got you covered here on the channel, so if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. And if you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected from outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever that may be, link is down there in the description below. All that said and out of the way, thank you guys all so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.